This video I'm going to show you how to braze copper. Now we are going to be using a phosphorus copper silver brazing alloy, and this is more for your, let's say, your AC copper for your line sets. This is not your water pipe copper, so just kind of keep that in mind before watching the video. This video is mainly for the basics. It's not really for the experts, because I'm trying to go into the simplest way as possible, because I noticed a lot of people do have trouble brazing copper, and it can be a little bit tricky, and I wanted to show you some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to make it as simple as possible. First things first, we're going to go ahead and get into the settings on the bottle. Over here to the left, this is the acetylene bottle. To the right, this is the oxygen bottle. These two mix to perform a flame, and that is how you braze. So here we have how much is in the bottle. It's almost half full, as some of you may say half empty. I do like to keep my settings on the acetylene at about 5 to 7. On the oxygen bottle here, this is how much is in here. We have 1000 psi, that's 1000 pounds per square inch. And also here, it is on 20 on this needle, but when I turn everything on, it should be about 10 to 12, right at about 12 actually. So I like to use a little bit more oxygen than acetylene when I am brazing. Now the brazing rods, they come in this little plastic tubing here, and I really don't like it because it seems like it just kind of cracks. So I've made like a PVC piece here. I put an end cap right here. It's just 3/4 inch PVC, and then I got another cap here where I just screw it on, and then this here is where I keep a lot of my brazing rods. It's more thicker, it's durable. I'm kind of rough with a lot of my stuff, so you can just kind of throw them around, stick them wherever. First, we're going to go ahead and cut the copper. It's important to have clean copper and clean cuts. Now here we have some tubing cutters right here, made by Lennox. These are really good. I've had these for a long time, and they work really well. Right here you have some little guide rollers where you put the tubing right on the inside, right here, and this is your cutting piece. Right here, you take off that little Phillips head screw there, and there's another blade right there. So that's one thing I like about these, pretty handy to have. Now here's a smaller set for smaller tubing, and this is for probably your smallest set of tubing. Same thing, you have your little guide rollers right there on the inside, and it works in the same way. Now when I put these on, or this on, I just kind of put it on like so. I don't really cinch it up too tight, but tight enough to where it kind of holds it on there. And then I go around like so. Now it's important to make sure that your tubing is straight, as straight as possible. These don't really work well on bent tubing. Now every time I go around, I'm going to cinch it a little bit tighter here. And I'm going to keep doing that until it cuts the pipe completely. And you may have to do it several times, quite a few times, by going around and cinching it up, but eventually it will cut it. And if you feel it getting kind of wobbly on there, it's important to take it off and make sure that it's straight. Make sure everything is good on that. So if not, you're not going to have a good clean cut. Keep going around here like so. Keep spinning it. Like so, and there you go. Now you have a nice clean cut and you're ready to braze. Now I got a piece of sandpaper, emery cloth, and I found out the best method is to wrap it around like this and just go around all the way around and make sure that everything is nice and clean before you start brazing. Just go around like that. Figured out that this is the best method as far as cleaning the pipe. You can never have this too clean. And the cleaner the better. There's a little bit of brown over here. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to make sure I get that. Now, I have a fitting here that's been sitting in my bag for a while. It's got all kinds of gunk and everything all over it. I'm going to make sure that that's clean. I'm going to put that fitting over. Now we're going to be brazing upside down in this video. A lot of people are intimidated by brazing something upside down or welding something upside down. And I was going to say, don't be intimidated. It's actually very easy. A lot of it, in my opinion, on the stuff that I've brazed over the years, a lot of it is just knowing what it will do, knowing where to put the heat, when it will melt. That's the most important thing. But honestly, this is actually really, really easy, and that's why I'm making this video. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and turn my acetylene on. You know your acetylene by the red right here. I'm going to turn that on just a little bit here. And I have my striker right here, and I just make one little strike, and then I make my little adjustments right here. Kind of turn that a little bit, turn my oxygen a little bit, and you want really just the right flame. You don't want too much. The smaller the copper, the less hot that you want it. You don't want it really hot when you're brazing really small diameter copper, because it'll burn through really, really quick. So okay, so I got my piece on here. Go ahead and make sure it's on nice and good. And I got my brazing rod, and we are ready to go. Now, these brazing rods I picked up from a local AC store. This is Dynaflow, phosphorus, copper, silver brazing alloy, and I will put a link in the description box for that, and I'll put a link in the description box for the tubing cutters as well. Now when I go through, I'm going to heat everything, both sides, evenly. Okay, and I'm going to be doing this side of the video. For the video, I'm going to be doing mainly this side. And a lot of times that heat will carry over to the other side, somewhat. The main thing is heat it evenly. Now you're going to start seeing some orange, some discoloration. And what it normally is, now you know it's about ready. When you see that right there, it's about ready. And then I'm simply going to lay it in there. I don't really try to put too much or overthink it. The main thing is to get the copper hot, and it'll go right up in there like so. A lot of times you can use the heat to feather it out. Okay, so for this smaller piece, I made sure that my flame is smaller, and it's the same thing. Just remember that it's going to heat up faster because it is smaller, and we are using a 90 on here. You don't want to get it too hot, and you don't want to try to lay the brazing rod down on it if it's not too hot. Right there is about perfect. See that orange right there? I could stick this on and it's going to melt right up on it. Just like so. And that's it. I know I made it look easy inside of the video, but that is how you braze copper.